Good morning, grade 2s. I hope you are all ready for your mathematics lesson for today. Before we start, I would like to share a poem with you. And the poem goes as follows. More on top, no need to stop. More on the floor, go next door and get 10 more. Numbers the same, zero's the game. So for today, we are going to be concentrating on the middle part of the poem where it says, more on the floor, go next door and get 10 more. Right, on the image in front of you, there are 3 minus sums. Now we all remember when we minus, we take away. And when we're working with tens and units, we always start to minus at the units. Right, let us look at the first sum. The first sum says 75 minus 7. So remember, we're going to start at the units. So we say 5 minus 7. What is the answer? Remember, a smaller number cannot minus a bigger number. So what do? We go next door and we borrow from the tens. So we go to the 7, which is actually 70, and we borrow 110, which we put next to the units. Once we've borrowed the 10 from the 70, how much is left? There are 6 tens left. Right, so remember, the one that we borrowed from the 70 is actually a 10. So, if you put the 10 next to the 5 and you add the 2 together, it gives you 15. So, 15 minus 7 then gives you the answer of 8. Now we go to the tens and we say 6 minus, there's nothing there, will give you 6. We're going to be doing a few more examples. The next sum is 93 minus 9. Starting with the units, 3 minus 9. A smaller number cannot minus a bigger number. Therefore, you will go next door and borrow a 10. So we go to the 9 and we borrow a 10. Remember, when you take a 1 away from the 9, it becomes 8. Now you say 13 minus 9 gives you 4. And 8 minus 0 gives you 8. Right, we move on to the next sum. Let's read what it says. 65 minus 8. Remember, we always start to minus at the units. 5 minus 8. A smaller number cannot minus a bigger number, so we go to the next number, the tens, to borrow a 10. We take 110 and we add it to the units. Remember, taking 110 away from 6 leaves you with 5. Okay? Right, so remember now, we borrowed 110 from the tens to add to the units, so that number now becomes 15. So 15 minus 8 gives you, count, 7. And then 5 minus 0 gives you 5. Easy. Right, grade 2s, we're going to do 3 more examples. Starting with the first one, 90 minus 5. Now, we start, remember, with the units. 0 minus 5. Remember, a small number cannot minus a bigger number. So, you have to go and borrow from the tens. So, we borrow from the tens. And remember, the 9 then changes to an 8, which is actually 80. Right. So now the 0 becomes 10 because that 1 is equal to a 10. 10 minus 5 is equal to 5. And 8 minus 0 is equal to 8. Right, grade 2s, we move on to the next sum. 77 minus 9. Remember, we start at the units. 7 minus 9, a smaller number cannot minus a bigger number. So, you have to borrow from the tens. We borrow a 10 and then the 7 becomes a 6. 17 minus 9 gives you 8. And 6 minus 0 gives you 6. So 77 minus 9 is equal to 68. Right, the last example, 22 minus 6. Where do we start? Always by the units. Right, 2 minus 6. 2 cannot minus 6 because 2 is smaller than 6. So we borrow a 10 from the tens. And if you add the 10 to the 2, it gives you 12. So 12 minus 6 is equal to 6. Remember, you borrowed the 110, so there's 110 left. So the 1 minus 0 gives you 1. So 22 minus 6 is equal to 16. Awesome. Don't forget, when the number is smaller, you always go and borrow from the tens. Now you complete the activity in your books and don't forget, more on the floor, go next door and get 10 more. I know you can all do this. We are very proud of all the work you are doing, grade 2s. Remember, maths is cool. Stay awesome.